I've worked alongside the site engineer and trainee engineer out on site, doing all the usual site engineering jobs such as setting out, levelling, marking out.
A lot of my work has been with subcontractors to ensure that work packages can be delivered as smoothly as possible. So that's involved a lot of documentation to show compliance with health, safety and environmental legislation. I've also had the opportunity to work in the pre-contract area, so that's been putting together tender packs and scopes of work for future packages.
When I was airside, I got the chance to shadow the site engineer and work on producing technical drawings, drafting shift reports, and also observing how the airport operates. And when I went landside, I got the opportunity to see road resurfacing and also go to a couple of night shifts.
So this year on my placement I've done TMPs, I've done RAMs, I've set out, and for the last 4 weeks I've technically been the main on-site engineer.
So the kind of work we've got involved with is undertakings and assurances is a big one. Another thing that has to happen before rocking up on site is environmental surveys, and we've been getting involved with these with the Urgent Works team.
So as part of my placement this year at Bishopton, I've worked my first Saturday shift, and the reason behind that was that we could set out more band drainage points to ensure that we stay ahead of the rig. The rig's been working throughout the weekend installing the band drains, so that's why we've been in. And I was one of the only 2 engineers, both undergraduates, who were responsible for setting out those points.
I spent a few weeks with a surveyor, and with him I learnt how to use a total station, a dumpy level and a GPS. The other part, I was with the site engineer and a fellow Quest Scholar graduate engineer, and with them I was helping them out. And then finally I was in the office, and there I was given a pipe run schedule, and with that I had to calculate levels of the chambers and pipes and the grade of the pipe. And also I was given receipts which I had to update a spreadsheet for, which the QSs used to order new materials in.
I've been surveying various areas around the digester compound at Dewsbury, and spent a couple of days at the design office to understand what a senior design engineer does on a daily basis.
Here at Clayton West I've been doing quite a lot of service locations. Because of the previous works and the lack of as-built drawings that we've got, it's been quite hard, so I've had to do a lot of that. I've also done a lot of work on the environmental side of things, looking at site waste management plans.
So over my Quest experience, I've had 3 very different work placements, 3 very different phases of engineering works. The first one was finishing off a smart motorway scheme on the M1. The second was doing bulk excavation at a new build dual carriageway between the A6 and Manchester Airport. And this year's has been slightly different in the way that it's been office based, and it's been planning and pricing for a 4th rail track for 7 miles between Huntingdon and Peterborough.
So this was a lot different to other placements that I've had. Past work experience was more like shadowing, and this one, there's more of a feeling that we came here to work. So I was doing the daily report sheets, I was doing safety inspections, I was doing all the inductions, things like that. So they really do try and get you out and about to work, which is good because you feel like you're useful to the company.
While I've been here, I've mainly focused on central res works, which includes setting out surfacing, drainage and concrete barrier installation. Being here on site for a longer time allows you to get the feel of the inner workings of a project.
Whilst I've been here, I've been responsible for doing all the pre and post concrete pour checks. This includes filling out paperwork and checking bits off, as well as making all the cubes for these concrete pours.
Whenever we get set a little piece of work to do, getting it back on time and to a high quality, and I feel like we've just about achieved that.
Carrying out silt mitigation checks in a lovely Scottish summer.
I can say to you that they're going to throw you into the deep end. Trust me, believe it. Half the time it's nerve-wracking because you're a new engineer and you're not 100% sure on everything you're saying. And the other half of the time it's absolutely exhilarating because you're being given all this trust and added pressure, and it's the best way to learn.
Like I mentioned, I calculated levels that I had to give to a team of labourers and plant operators, which they used to construct a run of drainage next to a retaining wall, updating the reconciliation spreadsheets which the QS is used to order into new materials, so a fair amount of responsibility.
And we both agreed that the versatility of the project is something that we really enjoyed. We'd get given a task to complete in 3 or 4 days, so we could really sink our teeth into it and get the most out of it that we could. And then after that, we could move on to a completely different team within the enabling works and take on a completely different task. So that day-to-day challenge and that the different challenges that were being set were really good and really offered something completely different every single time to us, which is something we really enjoyed.
I've had to do things like the site diaries every day. I've given inductions to new people on site and visitors come into site. We had an environmental audit last week, and because the section engineer wasn't here, I was getting asked quite a lot of questions about the waste management stuff with that. And I've also been dealing with the companies taking waste off site and making sure they have the relevant codes on their tickets that they give us for the waste transfer notes.
With the interest of safe construction, I've had to propose my very own plan for moving all the railside infrastructure that you see when you look out the window of a train.
I've really enjoyed being on placement for a year. I think it's given me the opportunity to get more integrated into the team and to be given more responsibility and also to gain more confidence in working independently.
Overall, I feel a lot more confident about being an engineer. There's often that worry about the jump between kind of the level we're at now to like a fully qualified engineer, but even after a few months on site you can kind of see the progress and it is encouraging.
Morgan Sindall definitely exceeded my expectations. Everyone on site's really nice and welcoming when you start, and they're really good at putting you on training and things at the start to make sure you understand what's going on. For example, I was on asbestos training and best practice, 100% safe, all that sort of stuff.
The challenges were there every single day, of great quality and quantity, and something that we could consistently perform high in throughout our placement, which is something that we did expect and something we did get out of it and really enjoyed.
It's been great to be involved in all the disciplines for both projects, the design and engineering, the BIM, commercial planning and bid writing. I feel I've gained a massive amount of experience. I'm really looking forward to coming back using this knowledge to help me progress towards my professional chartership.
My favourite bit really through the whole Quest experience has been dealing with all the sorts of stakeholders that you wouldn't necessarily immediately associate with the civil engineering as you go into it.
Morgan Sindall have really lived up to our expectations this year. Although it's been a very different placement from last year, it's been really useful because we've seen more of a management side of things, and it's been a really good learning experience.
Yeah, everyone's been so friendly and helpful and really wants us to learn as much as possible.
I've really enjoyed getting exposure to a different side of the construction industry and having the opportunity to work on everything from the construction of a haul road through to the archaeological excavation of a 12th century church.
Another positive of working for Morgan Sindall is that they tend to put you in close proximity to the other Quest scholars. Remember that whatever project you go on to will have already started, so it will be a very hectic and busy time for everyone involved. But if you ever want help or more work, people are always willing to help, so just go and ask. Your placement will only be as good as you make it. So jump out of your comfort zone and find out what works for you. But Morgan Sindall is by far the best decision I've made.
But my highlight was definitely calculating the total weight of the digester roof at Dewsbury, because it involved researching steel sections and calculating challenging areas.
And do we have fun?
We did have fun, yes.
We had lots of fun.
We recommend it.
Fun. Yeah, you can have a good laugh on site, so definitely. Alright.
Thank you!
Thanks, guys.